So this is my opinion on the worst 5 power crushes in this game. I did a top 5 power crushes already, so please check that out if you haven't already. And you know, this is just my opinion, my experience with the game. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. You know, it's just all a matter of opinion in the end anyway. So yeah, enjoy the video. So to start this video off, we're going to talk about Katarina's 4 through this 4. Why I don't really rate it that much is because it's slow. 24 frame is very slow for a power crush. So it means that you can check her with down forward 1 for example, and then recover in time to let the power crush absorb the down forward 1 and then recover in time to block it. Obviously it's unsafe. -13 is not too bad, but it is still unsafe. The problem is that the tracking's not good on it. It only tracks one way slightly, and also there's no good Oki follow-ups on hit, so there's not much you can do. She can do running 3 to chase them down, but they're able to step this on wake up, or they're able to side roll it on the ground. So the Oki follow-up isn't that good afterwards, and it's kind of hard to get a clean splat with it because of the way it hits. So like up close you will get splat, but from a bit further away is a bit hard compared to other power crushes. So yeah, I don't really rate it that up. Like similar power crushes of its kind, you know, it's like -13 mid, for example. They're usually a bit quicker, they usually track a bit better, or they usually get better Oki follow-ups. So this kind of style of power crush, Katarina's is definitely one of the worst ones off. So with Gigas at number 4, down 1+2. Now it is a wall bounce. It's -13. It usually is for a mid power crush. Usually is -13. It does wall bounce. However, it's 30 frame startup, so there's a lot of moves you can do to get swords by Gigas and then recover it in time to block it. So you can kind of say you don't really need to worry about this during your pressure too much, because you can safely check it with a lot of moves, especially like jabs or downward ones, and then be able to recover in time to block. And is a wall bounce, you know, that's always good to have, but the move is just too slow to be practical. I think, like if you compare it to something like Asuka's forward from +2 power crush, that's also power crush wall bounce, but it's 15 frame fast, which is more likely to hit things than this move would be, right? So yeah, this would definitely rank for like among the bottom 5 power crush, just simply due to the fact it's just too slow to be. I mean, it will absorb some things, like it will absorb and beat things obviously, but if you're playing against a character that likes to jab or downward 1 a lot, you know, it's just not that useful, I think, unfortunately. For number 3, let's talk about Leo's back forward 1+2. Now, why I think it's down here is because it's out of a stance, first of all. So if something's locked in stance, it's usually quite limited in terms of when you control that neutral, right? So it's a locked in stance, it's a high, and it's very slow at 26. On hit, it does guarantee some follow-ups, but you know, the reward isn't that very high when you think of it's a 26 frame high out of a stance. Like, it's not very likely to hit people with this. Maybe if you did something like 4-for-3 on block into it, but at that point you can just safely check with down 4 or something like that to interrupt her out of it. Also, you can do 4-for-3 to low parry. It's part of the mind game, but it is just too. It's not very likely to hit people, I think. Like, I'm not a Leo specialist, but I'm just looking at it on paper. I don't think it's going to catch people often. It's not going to be used often, and there's a lot of power crushes in this game that are used quite often, and I think they're more likely to succeed hitting opponents, and I just don't see this in succeeding hitting opponents quite often. So yeah, I would rate this power crush quite low. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Law's 4-for-3. Now the biggest thing to me that stands out is the fact it's launch punchable on block at -17, so it's quite hefty, right? So it doesn't push back much on block as well, so it's quite easy to punish, I believe, for most characters. It's a forward motion, so because it's 20 frame startup, you add the forward motion, so it's going to be 20 frame at the fastest, which is not likely to happen that often in a match. So it's going to be quite slow in matches in most cases, so like up to like 22, 23, 24 frame, depending on how quick you are with forward motions. Either way, it's slow. Either way, it is slow. It is launch punchable block. You know, if you do hit it, it is a big reward, of course. Now, I don't know lock combo. I'm gonna like make up one on. Okay, I don't know lock combos, but it wall bounces as you can see. So if he makes a good read, obviously he gets a big reward. But is it worth the -17 on block? Because if you mess up, or even if they do something, you absorb it, but it's too slow, because the move is slow itself. You know, the recovering time on block it, and then you're -17, and then you get launched for it. So yeah, I just don't think it's quite worth it, to be honest. Okay, for the worst power crush in the game, I thought this was kind of a no-brainer. Fang's 4+2 charged, so it's 39 frame startup, excluding forward motion time as well. So it's, you know, like, it's the slowest power crush in the game. On hit, you only get like a shoulder follow-up, which isn't, considering how slow the move is, it's not that rewarding. Obviously against the wall it's quite good, but I just couldn't tell you that it's good. With Gardol, so on block it is +3, but he's gonna take like at least 40 frames to get it out, so you might get interrupted by a low, or you might have the opponents recover in time to block when they serve something. I mean, it's not bad, it's +3 on block, even if they block it, but it's just too prone to being load out of or something like this, you know. So yeah, it's just far too slow. So that's why I would rate it as the worst power crush in the game. And obviously the tracking's not good on it, so you can step it in reaction. I would say you can even step it in reaction. When you see a charge enough, just step and launch them. But yeah, so that's it for the top 5 worst power crushes in the game. So obviously this is just my opinion from my experience with the game, so if you have different ones, let me know in the comments. If you think I said something here that should be corrected, let me know as well. If I said a power crush on this list shouldn't be on the list, then also say this in the comments. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you know, I'm trying to grow my YouTube. I'm gonna have more content coming out, so subscribe if you like, and obviously tell me your opinions. Thanks for watching.